So Riot has already decided to release some hotfix buffs for Rell, because her win rate wasn't looking that great after her mid-scope update. And what we have here is pretty great, I think, but there is something else I'm a bit worried about. So first up, let's go over the changes. Then I want to talk about why I think this might get out of control. Just might, okay? So first up, her base stats are going up a bit. She's getting a bit more health regen, armor and magic resist. All fine and dandy. I think that's just great changes, make her survive a bit longer. Then they went ahead and increased the resistances you steal with her passive. It went from 2.5 to 3%. And of course, that's great, but that is one thing I see a little problem with. So they already took the ability, which most of the Rell players agree was the best change for Rell, right? So pretty much everyone agrees that Rell's passive got better and that it's in a good state right now. Even though a lot of players, and I'm talking 90% plus, hate the mid-scope update, they still agree that her new passive is great. And out of all the abilities they could have hotfix buffed, it's her passive, and it's not even a weak buff, it's a whole 0.5% more. So as it stands now, it is okay. I'm not seeing any problems with that. Then her Q changes, they're also pretty great, I think. We just got a little bit more damage. They also increased the AP scaling by 10%, which means that the jungle top hybrid AP tank builds might get a little better, but nothing too significant. And they also increased the jungle damage from 250% to 300%. I already see a lot of people, a bunch of people complaining about this, but honestly, great for the rare jungle players, right? Why not? Sure, some AP tankish build might rise from this, but I'm not playing Rell Jungle, so I don't really care, but I'm happy for the people who play Rell Jungle, so that's a great change, sure. Then we have W changes, and for one thing, they increased the knockup duration of a crashdown back to 1 second. They pretty much reverted the nerfs her W got. They're significant nerfs, because out of all the W nerfs she got in her mid-scope update, this one is the only one that really mattered. The radius, in my opinion, didn't matter, the jump range didn't matter, and the slide range didn't matter, the damage certainly didn't matter. But this one was the only thing where I was like, okay, that's gonna hurt a bit, but now they reverted it again. And along with that, they also increased the shield power. It's only by 5, by 2% of your max health. I don't think this is gonna matter because tank Rell, at least on the support position, is not a thing anymore. I feel like every game you want to build Shurelias, and that's just gonna be the best thing you can build. Of course, it gives a bit of health, but it doesn't make you tanky whatsoever. So the self-slow goes down by 5%. I think these are the best changes they could do. Just make her a bit less slowed. I think this is just really good quality of life changes, and I wouldn't even mind if this goes down even more, but I guess her unmounted form has to have at least some downside, so sure, that makes sense. And the jungle damage also went up on this ability. So the problem I have with this is, I was under the impression before I saw those hotfix buffs that Rell just shifted her powers from one side to another side. They weakened her engages really by a tiny bit and gave her some value in other places. But now they're giving her original engage back, which sure, it's great, I love it. But if we look at what they mentioned up there in this sentence right here, they said if these hotfixes don't get her in a good place, they will add even more to her kit. And if they go as far as giving her even more resistance stealing on a passive, or maybe even 0.25 more knockup seconds on her W, then I think it's getting out of hand a bit. Rell is already a great CC champion, an AoE CC champion, and as it is now, up to 1 second I think is good, but if it goes further than that, it's getting out of hand and might even go into a bit of overpowered territory. I like to believe that this is gonna balance her win rate out, but I don't feel like it's going to be like that. I don't even understand why people complain about the low win rate she has in the first place right now. Because we have a good amount of players who never played Rell, who wanted to try a jungle, who wanted to try her with a new kit, and of course these people are gonna lose. Because Rell is such a unique champion. If you play Rell first time, you're gonna int. It doesn't matter how strong the champ is, it doesn't matter how weak the champ is, you're gonna int. And of course, if the champion gets a mid-score update, a rework, new people are gonna play this champ. And of course the win rate is gonna be far down. I know 32% or what was it, 34? I think, it looks horrible. But there are at least as many people who tried Rell for the first time because of this mid-score update, that there are people actively maining Rell. So you literally have 50% of Rell games are played by people who don't even play Rell. So of course the win rate is gonna be horrible. And I think if we just waited for another week or another 2 weeks, all these people would have probably quit playing Rell, and then the Rell Mains play her again and her win rate is going to go up again. Why is this not being considered? Like, I'm happy about these changes. These look great, especially the one with her passive and the knockup duration. These are gonna be great. And I don't think these are too much yet. But if they add even more on top of that, I do see a problem. And then we might have a meta where Rell gets banned a lot because she's too strong. And then she gets nerfed again. And then she might be too weak again. And I just hope that we don't get through a spiral of Rell getting nerfed and buffed and nerfed and buffed and nerfed and buffed. I think she's in a decent state right now. I think power-wise, she didn't really change that much. They shifted power within the champ, but the champ as a whole, I feel like is still as powerful as she was before. So I didn't really have any problems with that. I think these hotfixes that we have right now here on the screen are great, but I don't want to get any more than this. I hope you can kind of understand where I'm coming from, but I see you all in the next one.